Welcome back. All this week, the ABC 10 weather team is joining us right here at 6:30 for their newest investigation called The Future of California's Water. And tonight, in part two of our series, Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods and the team digs into senior water rights, what it means for our food and access to water for people in rural areas.
Tens of millions of people rely on California's water that's also helped to feed the world.
But the truth is, we are all one pie chart. I mean, we all have to utilize each other.
The rights for using California's water are complicated.
They used rubber cement, and over years, the labels have fallen off.
Tracking who gets what is antiquated.
The system has not been kept up to the complexities that we face in this kind of modern era.
As our climate changes, what can California do about its water?
We do not get to dip a straw in the ocean and just suck out what we want.
And what's already being done.
Water is life, right? We all need it every day. You need to keep the taps flowing no matter what.
This is the future of California's water, an ABC 10 weather investigation.
This valley, these cities, this county would not exist without this river.
Mitchell Yorksa is a fifth-generation farmer in Colusa County, just north of Sacramento. His family grows 15 different crops, from watermelon to tomatoes.
Our tomatoes go to the largest cannery in the world here that creates much of the tomato paste for both California and the United States, much of it being specifically for Heinz. So if you buy a bottle of Heinz ketchup, more than likely a portion of it is ours.
To get this to our tables, they need water. The Yorksa family has what is called senior water rights, which in theory gives them unlimited access to water flowing down the Sacramento River. An incredibly divisive topic for how it shapes California water access today and the way the system was set up, largely stripping water access from Native Americans.
It really starts with the gold rush. Same way that people would come out here and stake a claim to land to mine, they would stake a claim to water.
That could happen in a couple of ways. If you own land next to a river, you get access. Also, if you claimed the land first, you got senior water rights. If you claimed it last, you got junior water rights. More than 100 years later, access to water today boils down to those rights.
And the way that it works is that if there's not enough water to go around, the most junior water right holders can't exercise their right. They can't take water until the most senior water right holders have used everything that they need. And so having a senior water right is incredibly powerful.
But those rights and unlimited access come at a price to farmers like Mitchell Yorksa.
I think there's this perception that exists that ag is just taking this water without any thought on where it goes or how it's used. But at the end of the day, we have to pay for every bit of the water we use, the labor we use, every part of the system, so we're only using what we need.
On average, the Yorksa family says they use about 20 to 30% of the water they have access to.
It's just like any other resource you use in your own day-to-day life. You're not going to run your kitchen sink or your bathtub or your shower unless you're utilizing those resources.
Over 90% of farms in California are still family-owned, each generation facing more pressure to put food on America's table using the same soil, same roads, and even similar crops, all with less water. To face those shortages, they are turning to more efficient irrigation like drip tape and recycling.
Any water we don't use is used by the next field to our west. So each field is picking up tail water and utilizing it for the next crop.
But even with the best intentions, there's just not enough water to serve California, even though the state declared water as a basic human right. In 2012, Governor Brown signed a law declaring that every person in the state must have access to clean, safe, and affordable drinking water. Yet today, there are still over 1 million people that are exposed to illegal contaminants in their water.
So we have two sources of water. We have groundwater, we have surface water. In order for us to access surface water, we have to have water rights. Many of our communities don't have those rights to access surface water.
So instead, they must resort to water that is stored underground. In many of these rural communities like Seville and Tulare County, that water contains high levels of toxins from leaky septic tanks, agricultural runoff, and animal manure.
So this is where we need to make sure that we have better infrastructure delivering water.
So
this is their pipeline going, it's right, this is an ag ditch, and that's their pipeline.
To their water.
Yes.
That drainage water seeping into the nearby water supply for the community and school.
Susanna says one of the ways to address these concerns is to connect two smaller communities like Seville and Yedem to a safer and more secure water supply.
All of the infrastructure in Seville will be replaced, and also connect the community of Yedem and including the school so that they have a proper water distribution system with hopefully good wells providing safe drinking water. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer.
Susanna says the bottom line, this crisis exists because of poor water planning and lack of funding to develop solutions.
The question here is not who's at fault. The question is who's working towards a solution. These are farm worker communities. We work with the ag industry. We're part of that fabric. So we need to find solutions where we all win.
But the truth is, we are all one pie chart. I mean, we all have to utilize each other. I mean, we are the ones growing the food. You're the ones buying the food. We can't exist without you, and you can't exist without us. So we have to work together.
A lot to unpack there.
It certainly is, I know.
Yes, but clearly the farming community, I mean, they feel pressure to, defend their water use. But how did tensions build to this degree?
Well, every drought cycle, this battle grows. We are a state of feast or famine. Last year, we had too much water and it was sent out to the Golden Gate. 2 years ago, though, we were in the grips of deep drought. Either way, farmers still have to pull water from rivers and the ground to put food on our table, which leaves some people without access to safe drinking water. That's why you heard both Susanna and Mitchell saying we have to work together.
Now, after seeing that, is there funding for these projects to help connect communities to safe drinking water?
Yeah, the good news is that in 2019, the state passed the Safe and Affordable Drinking Water Fund through Senate Bill 200, which provides $130 million a year to develop sustainable solutions like what you heard Susanna talking about to connect those two communities so that smaller systems have access to safe drinking water.
All right, Monica, and this is not the end. Make sure you join us tomorrow for part 3 of this series. Meteorologist Rob Carlmark is looking at desalination in the state, where it's being used, and what it could look like in the future.